Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Counterpoint podcast. At Counterpoint Research, we have been tracking the growth of smart home devices, and in this episode, we are going to talk about the same. I'm Ritesh, and I'm joined by our research analyst, Maurice. Hello, Maurice. How are you doing?
Hey Ritesh, I'm doing well, thank you.
And how's the lockdown treating you?
Oh, it's going okay here. I'm locked down in Boston, so just staying at home and being safe for now.
Well, we all are in the same boat. I hope the situation gets better soon.
Yes, me too.
When talking about smart home devices, what are the categories that are dominating the segment?
Yeah, of course, Ritesh. I can give you a little bit more background actually in our smart home research and what we've been doing at Counterpoint. So, we've been really seeing the smart home market and ecosystem growing quite rapidly. And we've been tracking this ecosystem and where the areas are that are really developing. And not just in terms of which categories are developing, but also which regions are the high growth areas right now. And also, we've been tracking what types of connectivity is featured in a smart home market right now. So that is everything from Bluetooth, NFC, Wi-Fi to cellular connectivities and even Zigbee, Z-Wave, those things. So we're trying to really assess that whole market completely with our research. In terms of the smart home market right now and the categories that are dominating the market, what we found is that the smart TV, surveillance camera, and also the smart speaker categories are the ones that are really driving the market. And this is really because these are areas that are in demand for consumers right now for various reasons, and also they're really quick and easy access points to build this smart ecosystem over time.
How was the smart home market share like in 2019?
So, like I mentioned, with smart TVs, smart speakers, and security cameras being the main drivers, the smart TV market was around 29% of the market. Smart security cameras around 26, and we estimate that the smart speaker market was around 20% of the market in 2019. So you can see that those areas in particular were the high growth drivers for the market. Other markets that we've considered, of course, are smart lighting systems, smart appliances, smart white goods, such as refrigerators, dishwashers, laundry machines, and things like that. But also considering VR headsets and also gaming consoles in this, as each of these things form part of the smart home ecosystem, which make up a smaller percentage of this whole category. Of note, also, smart lighting is a category that is growing and that is currently under 10%, but will likely see a high increase given that. The costs are a little bit higher for smart lighting systems than consumers would prefer right now. But in our forecast, we see this actually going down in price, which will drive up adoption in the future.
When you talk about growth, what are our expectations for the next 5 years?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Like I mentioned before, the current areas where we're seeing growth, smart TV, smart speakers, and also security cameras, will continue to see growth in the future. However, those are not the strongest categories that will see growth. However, I think that for these categories, you have to consider the fact for smart TVs, for example, people are getting more into streaming media options, which will naturally uh, assist in growth for that category, even as different regions have better access to smart TVs. So, for example, in India, which we see as one of the big growing areas for the smart TV ecosystem in the future, you're getting devices that are actually going to be priced for under 100 US dollars. Even though it's a small screen, maybe 32 inches or so, um, having devices that are at an affordable price range, that are smart, so connected, and getting those devices into other regions, at a competitive price point will enable continued growth, in that area. And the same goes for the other areas that I mentioned, such as security cameras and smart speakers. We will continue seeing growth there as more people want to have a connected security camera, in their household, or connected camera rather for their household, either indoor, outdoor. It can be a baby monitor. Um, but being able to have that extra layer of security through a connected smart camera, will likely see growth there. In terms of smart speakers, I think that category in itself, has been very successful, in terms of getting people interested in a smart device, but also offering a good product. You're getting a speaker that plays music, that can play podcasts, that you can use to um, as a conferencing device. So all these three areas, will continue to see growth, and certainly in other regions, not just in North America, Europe, and China, where we're seeing the current growth, but also in other developing countries, in the future. And the other area that I actually wanted to highlight is, the strong growth that we are projecting for white goods and also smart lighting. And let me talk about white goods first. For white goods, I mean large appliances such as a stove, a refrigerator, um, a dishwasher, laundry machine, or a dryer. Currently, all these devices, or many of these devices, are not connected in any way, but in the future, we see that there would be a tremendous amount of growth, for connected, large appliances, connected white goods. And you may ask yourself why this is. Well, it's really because if you have a connected device, you're able to do better maintenance and care on it, and you're also able to really monitor, the energy intake, of it, and water, as well. So you can save on electricity, you can save on your water bill, and you can also do preventative maintenance better, and also try to troubleshoot what's happening with the device at a much easier and a much more convenient way for a consumer. So this white goods area really starting to pick up in the future in terms of connectivity, and like I said, before, with the smart lighting side of things, the current costs of a smart lighting system, is a little bit too high for a consumer to really upgrade all their lighting needs, to make your home featured with smart lighting, so light bulbs, switches, etc. However, in the future, as these costs and with economies of scale, um, the actual costs of these devices will go down tremendously, which will allow greater adoption for the consumer. And naturally, again, this will create, a value proposition for a consumer as well, and to be able to control which lights are going on and off in their house, and really just monitor those levels, and save on electricity. So those are kind of the bigger growth drivers, in terms of where we see the higher growth potential, in the smart home area. But naturally, again, the three ones that I mentioned before, that are currently driving the market will certainly be volume drivers in the future as well.
Great. And with 5G here in most countries and Wi Fi 6 is also making its way, which connectivity medium is likely to dominate?
Yeah. So when we look at connectivity in terms of a smart home device, we really need to factor in several things, to for the consumer, really. So you have all these different options from Bluetooth, like I mentioned, Zigbee, NFC, cellular connectivity, Wi-Fi, and all of these have trade-offs. we see Wi-Fi as being one of the big drivers for the connectivity featured in smart home devices because of the ease of using Wi-Fi um, for a smart home application. We already, many of us have Wi-Fi routers and other Wi-Fi connected devices, and as we go on in the next few years, as these Wi-Fi generations move from going from Wi-Fi 4 to Wi-Fi 5, now having Wi-Fi 6, and moving forward, we believe that Wi-Fi 6 provides one of the best benefits to a smart home ecosystem, because of the way that you're able to connect multiple devices on a Wi-Fi 6 network. You're able to have these devices all share information quickly. The load capacity of a Wi-Fi 6 network is way better compared to a Wi-Fi 4 or Wi-Fi 5, and you're able to basically have the system work more seamlessly together. So this is why we believe that Wi-Fi 6 is one of the best adoption methods for connectivity over others. Just because also your signal actually is able to proliferate better than a Bluetooth device or an NFC device, which has shorter range than a Wi-Fi network running on a 2.4 gigahertz network band.
Well, thank you for those insights, Maurice, and thank you for your time.
Yeah, of course, Ritesh. Anytime.
I would also like to thank our listeners for tuning in. Stay safe and stay healthy. And if you missed any of our previous episodes, you can head over to Spotify or Apple Podcast to listen to them. Thank you.